Israel-Hamas war is over. Well, that is what Trump claims. Hamas has handed over all 20 living hostages in Gaza in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. They also returned the bodies of 4 deceased hostages. So is that it? Well, not even close. The first phase of the peace deal brought increased humanitarian aid into Gaza. Days later, the hostage exchange took place. While it's a major step, the bigger challenge lies ahead. The truce may hold temporarily, but Gaza's governance and reconstruction remain unresolved. The hostage swap was the easy part. For Hamas, it also meant losing the leverage it had in the conflict. From here on, things get complicated. The release was just the phase 1 of Trump's 20-point plan. The next hurdles are harder: disarming Hamas, securing Gaza, and rebuilding the war-torn territory. Beyond that, displaced residents need continuous aid, and long-term question of governance must be addressed. So who will run Gaza if not Hamas or the Palestinian Authority? Where Palestinian statehood is mentioned vaguely in Trump's plan, but there's no concrete plan about it. Key issues remain unaddressed. According to the plan, Hamas, which seized Gaza in the year 2007, would have no future role in governance, directly or indirectly. Now, the recent summit in Sharm el-Sheikh, attended by world leaders, risks being more symbolic than solution-oriented. Many leaders focused on aligning with Trump's initiative rather than solving the core issues. Palestinians were largely excluded, leaving questions of occupation, governance, and representation unresolved. Experts warn that without tackling these fundamentals, the ceasefire could collapse. Trump's 20-point plan calls for deploying international stabilization forces, mainly from Arab and Muslim countries, to maintain order in Gaza. But their effectiveness hingers on Hamas agreeing to disarm, a step they haven't signaled willingness to take. Without this cooperation, progress on the ground will be limited. But there are two factors that could actually impact the ceasefire. Only when we thought that fighting has calmed down in Gaza, tensions erupted again, this time between Hamas and Daghmash clan. So what is that? Well, it's a large family that has members in various factions across political spectrum in Gaza. On October 12 this year, clashes erupted between the armed clan and Hamas security forces, killing at least 27 people, including 8 members of Hamas. Some reports claim that Daghmash, who fought Hamas on Sunday, were affiliated with Israel, but other sources from Gaza deny the affiliation with Israel. Internal clashes is one thing. The IDF said on Thursday that it opened fire on Gazans who approached troops in Gaza City and near Khan Yunis after crossing the so-called Yellow Line. Meanwhile, 5 people were killed in an Israeli drone strike while trying to return to their homes in Gaza. One person was killed in a separate drone strike on a gathering in the Al-Fukhari area of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. In both these cases, the IDF said that troops opened fire to remove the threat in accordance with the ceasefire. The guns may be quiet for now, but Gaza's calm is fragile. Internal rivalries and renewed Israeli strikes could easily shatter the truce. Without a clear plan for governance, reconstruction, and long-term stability, this peace risks becoming just another pause in an unending conflict.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to Mirror Now.